To look at the humanitarian situation on the ground, we're joined now by Dr. Ahmed Idris, the Secretary General of the Kenya Red Cross Society. A very good evening to you, Dr. Idris. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
What is the latest that you can share with us about the conditions on the ground, but also if the bad weather persists?
So the latest is that the numbers of the persons who have unfortunately died has increased to 45, with more bodies being discovered in the Nairobi area. An unfortunate situation. The recovery effort by the search and rescue teams are still ongoing, so we anticipate that the number of those who have died will increase in the coming days as we find more of the persons who are affected. In terms of the general humanitarian situation, we have over 50,000 families across the country that are now displaced, which is a large number by any standards. The rains are expected to continue in the next couple of days. So perhaps in our understanding, the humanitarian situation could be getting worse, especially in the western part of the country where more people are likely to get displaced.
And can you just share with us what are the worst affected areas?
So in terms of the death toll, it is Nairobi. This is because of the high population density, the nature of the built environment. The waters really inundated a better part of the city, resulting in most of the deaths. So we have 28 people who died just in Nairobi and the Nairobi area. But in terms of displacement, the worst affected is the western part of the country in the counties and the towns of Migori, Homa Bay, and Kisumu. We are expecting the numbers of displaced again to continue increasing in those specific areas. In addition to that, the areas of Siaya and Homa Bay, Migori is expected to register more displaced population.
And according to reports, there are individuals who have been reported missing in areas like Kibra, Mathare, Muguru, as you mentioned.
Yes, we are reconciling the numbers in terms of the people who are missing or reported to be missing, and the bodies that have been found. So we're expecting the next couple of days after that reconciliation, the numbers of those reported missing will be going down. But to answer your question, yes, we still have people who are missing from Kibra, from Mathare, and from part of the central business district area, an area popularly known as Grogon, that was highly affected.
You did mention earlier on the number of people affected, but I want to talk about the number of households, particularly. The UN estimate is at 103,000 people in Nairobi alone. Are these figures that tally with what you have? And how many would you say are in need of, acute emergency shelter or, even just medical attention?
So in terms of affected, as I said, the better part of the city was affected. So the houses that were underwater, not just in the informal settlements, but also in the well-to-do areas in the city. But the population that we are concerned about are those who have lost their housing completely, and these are largely from the informal settlements. We're looking at about 3,500 households that are now homeless. The kind of assistance that is being provided, that is emergency support, is access to food, access to shelter in the various areas, and that is being undertaken in collaboration with the government. The Kenya Red Cross is working hard to provide these services to the affected population across the city and across the country.
And we also understand from reports that there have been a number of incidents of drowning as well as fatal electrocutions. Can you give us more information on that?
So unfortunately, since the rain season started, we've had these incidences of electrocution. The Kenya Red Cross lost one of the search and rescue team members due to such an incident. One of our best search and rescue team members, the late Mr. Samuel Wangila, lost his life because of electrocution. We have a number of other people who on Friday in the city, unfortunately, were affected by this electrocution. Majority of the deaths in relation to this particular rains of this 45 are largely because of drowning, being overwhelmed by the waters in the city. We are expecting, as the rains continue, we will be getting more of these numbers to be registered. And unfortunately, another cause of death, especially in the areas outside the city, has been lightning strikes. So we have about 4 people in total who have been killed by lightning strikes as the rains continue.
Any safety advice that you are giving out to people who are in those submerged areas of, those areas of submerged power infrastructure?
We are, advising Kenyans generally to exercise caution. I think our message is in 2 parts. One, the waters generally look deeper than they appear, so please exercise caution. Second, and to be careful, especially in the city areas, for lines that have been down, so that the risk of electrocution is reduced. We have issued advisories around individual do's and don'ts. We have also been issuing advisories around the general weather, and we are encouraging the Kenyans and the population in general to adhere to these advisories.
And just finally, can you just share with us details of how you're coordinating with the Kenya Defence Forces, their rapid response unit, to reach motorists or, just areas that are affected by the floods?
So His Excellency the President called a multi-agency response team that the Kenya Red Cross is part of, the Kenya Defence Forces is part of. We're being coordinated directly under the Ministry of Special Programs. So our interaction with KDF is one of close collaboration and shared responsibilities. We have a search and rescue team from the KDF that has been deployed to support the communities in not just search and rescue, but also in recovery effort. So the multi-agency team is much wider than the KDF. It includes representatives from the Ministry of Health, representatives from the police and other agencies that are required to respond to contribute to this search and rescue recovery efforts in the country.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Dr. Ahmed Idris. He's the Secretary General of the Kenya Red Cross Society.